Today we're going to talk about toilet supply lines. This is a toilet supply line with a plastic cap on one end. What happens is these plastic caps tend to break. And when they break, water sprays out of this line and floods your apartment and all your neighbors as well. So what we need to do is replace this line with one that has a metal cap on the end. This is a supply line with metal on both ends, and these are much sturdier and they don't break like the plastic ones. So if you've got a plastic one, you should replace it with a metal one. You can buy this at our front office here at Windsor Gardens if you're a resident for $7. So it's well worth the cost of $7 to save flooding you and all your neighbors. This is your toilet supply line. It comes from a valve in the wall, goes through the tube, and goes into the bottom of the toilet. And this actually ties into your flush valve. This toilet has a plastic cap on the end of the supply line. So we're going to replace this one today. And the first thing you're going to need to do is turn off your angle stop. And hopefully your angle stop is functioning. This one seems to be working quite well. Righty tighty. Next thing you're going to want to do is empty the tank on your toilet. Wow, this one's clean. So you should be able to drain the tank, and if your valve holds, it's not going to refill on you. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, then we're gonna remove the supply line both ends. And it's advisable to put your line in a loop if you can. It gives it a little bit of movement, gives it room to move around. You don't want them ever to be straight and stiff. This one should come off by hand, and it did. So now we have a good supply line with metal on both ends, and you can see there's a gasket in here. So that means you don't have to really over tighten it on each side. You just want the gasket to make contact with both surfaces. So we're going to start with the small end since it's sometimes hard to line the threads. So you get it hand tight and give it just a little touch more. Give that just a little touch. There we go. You've got it hand tight. Now you're going to add just a little bit with your wrench. Feels good. I'm going to turn on our valve nice and slow. Make sure we don't have any leaks. Now the tank is filling. So a common problem we have is this is called a packing nut. Sometimes the packing nut will leak a little bit after you use the valve, so you'll want to just add just a little bit of tension to the packing nut. This valve is really critical, so you want to make sure the valve holds before you try to do this job. If you have issues with this valve, we call it an angle stop. You should call a qualified licensed insured plumber. They can take this apart. You'll have to get the water shut off either in your bathroom or in your building in order to replace this valve. This particular valve has a plastic stem, and these can be very problematic. So if you get a new valve, you want to get one with a metal stem on it, and the new ones are just quarter turn. So this is another subject in its own, the angle stop. But right now we're just talking about the supply line.